Good morning, everyone. Now, today we'll start with another chapter number 11, Infrastructure, lecture number 1. So, in this lecture, we'll discuss about what is infrastructure, types of infrastructure, and the energy consumption in India. Let's begin. Components of infrastructure. What does infrastructure include? Infrastructure includes roads, airports, ports, railways, energy, all the utility services, education, healthcare, and social infrastructure. So infrastructure leads to economic as well as social development of a country. So we can say that infrastructure refers to the support system of economic and social development of a country. Infrastructure refers to the support system of economic and social development of a country. Without economic growth and social development, we can't imagine a country to climb the stairs of success, to climb the stairs of development. What are the types of infrastructure? Economic infrastructure and social infrastructure. Economic infrastructure includes irrigation and power, transportation, communication, roads, and social infrastructure includes education, health, sanitation, water supply, housing. So, can you imagine your life in the absence of transportation, in the absence of communication means? You can't talk to each other. Can you imagine a day when you are not touching your phone? Not possible. Impossible task. Can you imagine a country without hospitals, without schools? No. Can you imagine a day without electricity, that there is no electricity in a country for 24 hours? Can you imagine your day? But still, there exist some villages that from the past many years, there is no electricity, no water. People are traveling so many kilometers to get the water. So, absence of economic elements of infrastructure and social elements of infrastructure drive us to the primitive age when production was just for the subsistence. Production activity did not yield surplus for growth and development in the primitive age. But now your production is increasing, country is developing, there are alternatives for every means, and there is a better infrastructure as compared to past 50 years. So what is economic infrastructure? Economic infrastructure refers to such elements of support system like power, transportation, communication, irrigation, which serve as a driving force for the production activity in the country. Economic infrastructure means those basic facilities. Economic infrastructure means those basic facilities and services which directly benefits the process of production and distribution of an economy. Irrigation, power, transportation, communication are the example of economic infrastructure. So, see, you all are commerce students, so you can better understand this concept that whenever there is production in any industry, the producer requires raw material. Fine. So, production से पहले procurement होता है raw material का. before production there is procurement of raw material, procurement of inputs, which will help in the further production. Clear? When production is done, the goods will be transported to the warehouses. It's not directly sold. Fine, it is the productivity or the production. They are sent to the warehouses. From warehouses, they are sent to the wholesalers and retailers. That means after this, we have selling process. Fine. After selling process, there are some after sale services, right? After selling, there are some after sale services. After sale services. Okay. So, in every stage, we require infrastructure. We require infrastructure. See, you require a market for inputs, right or wrong? You require market for inputs. You will carry your raw material to the production place. You require better roads. You require better transportation facility. आप अपने ऑर्डर की बुकिंग दोगे, ठीक है? You require proper communication facilities. You want that there should not be any communication errors. Clear? Now you will do the production with the help of machinery, part of economic infrastructure. You will send the goods to the warehouses. You require a place to store the goods. Again, warehouse is a part of economic infrastructure. Our country need warehousing facilities. और production place से warehouse तक जाने के लिए also you require better roads. You require communication facilities. Similarly, from warehouse to the selling process, still you require every kind of infrastructure, be it economic or social. You require power. Here, when you are producing the goods, you require machinery, you require electricity. Both are the part of economic infrastructure. You require educated managers, and education comes in the social infrastructure. After sales services, you require a proper communication in after sales services. So every time, be it a production activity, be it a secondary sector activity, be it a primary sector activity or a secondary sector activity or a tertiary sector activity, every kind of sector requires infrastructure, and both the infrastructure are required, economic and social. So economic infrastructure and social infrastructure, they are complementary to each other. Most important 3-marker question. Explain how social and economic infrastructure are complementary to each other. Social infrastructure refers to those elements which help in the social development, schools, hospital, colleges. Economic infrastructure accelerates the pace of growth, but social infrastructure accelerates the process of human development. It occurs when there is healthy and efficient workforce in the country. And how economic and social infrastructure are complementary to each other? Economic and social infrastructure are complementary to each other. Economic infrastructure includes source of energy, means of transport, all the communication, besides efficient banking system, finance services. All these elements of economic changes are an essential prerequisites of economic growth. However, these elements of economic infrastructure would not be of any use if the bulk of population continues to be illiterate, suffers from diseases and sickness, and this highlights the significance of social infrastructure. देखिए, हमने कहा कि इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में हम लोग बढ़ा देंगे प्रोडक्टिविटी, ठीक है, हम लोग करेंगे ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन, हम लोग बनाएंगे अच्छे अच्छे रोड्स, यही हम बात कर रहे हैं ना। इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में प्रोडक्शन की बात की, फिर उसके बाद आपने बात की रोड्स की, ठीक है, उसके बाद आपने बात की कि हम भाई कम्युनिकेशन अच्छी देंगे, राइट। ओके, ये सब हमने बात की हमारे इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में। अब सोच के देखो, इंजीनियर्स हैं, रोड का मैप डिसाइड करेंगे, ठीक है, इंजीनियर्स ही अनपढ़, इंजीनियर्स है ही नहीं कंट्री में, इतनी ज्यादा इलिटरेसी है कि इंजीनियर्स तो सब भूल ही जाओ, इंजीनियर्स है ही नहीं कंट्री में। जितने भी ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज है कंट्री के, जितने भी ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज है कंट्री के, वो बहुत बीमार रहते हैं, बहुत जल्द उनका इम्यून सिस्टम बहुत वीक है, बहुत जल्दी उनको कोई भी बीमारी हो जाती है, तो काम कौन करेगा यहाँ पर? हु विल वर्क हियर जब आपके पास ह्यूमन रिसोर्स ही अच्छा नहीं है? तो ये अच्छा कब होगा? जब ये डेवलप होगा, और ये डेवलप कब होगा? जब ये अच्छा होगा। दे बोथ आर कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री टू ईच अदर, दे बोथ नीड ईच अदर, विदाउट वन अनदर इज इनकम्प्लीट, ठीक है। अगर इकोनॉमिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अच्छा नहीं होगा तो सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में भी इम्पैक्ट होगा, और सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अच्छा नहीं होगा, इकोनॉमिक पे इम्पैक्ट होगा। So they both are complementary to each other. So this is the most important 3-marker question which can be asked in your exam, and when you will see your previous year papers, this question is many times repeated, that explain how economic and social infrastructure are complementary to each other. So you know what to write. It is given in your book TR Jain in one of the boxes in the beginning of the chapter only. Okay. Now, infrastructure and development. See, infrastructure promotes productivity. Infrastructure induces investment. It generates linkages in the production, enhances the size of market, enhances the ability to work. It promotes productivity. Earlier I told you, productivity in all the three sectors. Productivity in all the three sectors, be it primary, be it secondary or tertiary. Primary, secondary, and tertiary. All these three activities are affected by infrastructure. If there will be good infrastructure, all these sector will produce better output. When if it is poor infrastructure, these sector will suffer. Okay, tertiary, secondary, primary, all these activities promotes productivity. So infrastructure promotes productivity. Then it induces investment. देखो, infrastructure induces investment. For example, a developed network of highways would definitely induce investment across all the sectors of the economy, because it facilitates efficient movement of goods and services across different regions of the country. In fact, infrastructure is the backbone of business environment, business investment. जिस कंट्री का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अच्छा होगा, जिस कंट्री में ज्यादा से ज्यादा अच्छे रोड्स होंगे, हाईवे होंगे, प्रॉपर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी होगी, रोड्स बहुत अच्छे होंगे, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन और कम्युनिकेशन बहुत अच्छा होगा, कंट्री में 4G है, 5G है, तो पता है क्या होता है? फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स, फॉरेन कंट्रीज इन्वेस्ट करती हैं, प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टर्स बहुत ऐसी कंट्री में पैसा लगाते हैं, FDI होता है, फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है। जिस कंट्री की इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अच्छी होती है उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, ठीक है। सो infrastructure induces investment. It generates linkages in production. What does it mean? It means that developed means of transportation and communication will generate a link in all the production activities, ठीक है। If there is proper banking services, banking facilities, insurance facilities, there will be a proper linkages. ठीक है, it is a situation when expansion of one industry facilitates the expansion of another. Accordingly, growth becomes a self propelling activity of change. Then we have enhance the size of market. We know large scale production is possible only when size of market is large. Infrastructure enhances the size of market. It was with a view to expanding size of the market for the British product in India that a network of railways was developed under British Raj. So size of market will automatically develop if you have proper infrastructure. Okay, goods can be transported to a large market. Goods can be transported to the places which are far away from the warehouses if we have proper transportation and communication, and we have proper banking and insurance facilities. Fine. Then enhances ability to work. So here enhances the ability to work. We'll talk about the social infrastructure. देखो, अगर सब एजुकेटेड है, ठीक है, स्कूल्स अच्छे हैं, बच्चों को प्रॉपर एजुकेशन मिल रही है, और लोगों का हेल्थ सिस्टम बहुत अच्छा है, हेल्थ कंट्री का हेल्थ सिस्टम बहुत अच्छा है, फाइन, बहुत अच्छे हॉस्पिटल्स हैं, बहुत अच्छे तरह से क्योर होते हैं डिजीजेस, सैनिटरी फैसिलिटीज बहुत अच्छी है कंट्री की, definitely it will enhance the ability to work. People will work more efficiently. There will be less labor turnover. Fine. Then infrastructure also facilitate outsourcing. Fine. Country having a good infrastructure emerges as a destination for outsourcing. India is emerging as a global destination for call centers, study centers, medical tourism. It is owing largely to its sound of social infrastructure. Then infrastructure induces FDI, that is foreign direct investment, I have already told you. Now, next topic is state of infrastructure in India. We'll discuss about energy, commercial energy and non-commercial energy. See, commercial energy में आ जाते हैं आपके coal, petroleum, natural gas and electricity. Non-commercial में आ जाते हैं फायरवुड, एग्रीकल्चर वेस्ट एंड एनिमल वेस्ट. देखो, इस टॉपिक से जो ये हमारा है स्टेट ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन इंडिया, जो जो चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट है मैं सिर्फ वही चीज डिस्कस करूंगी. आपकी बुक में बहुत कुछ लिखा हुआ है बट नो नीड टू रीड दैट. ठीक है, तो ये जो टॉपिक है एनर्जी, इसमें से आपको सिर्फ और सिर्फ डिफरेंसेस याद करने हैं. ठीक है, जैसे आपके हो गया कमर्शियल एनर्जी एंड नॉन कमर्शियल एनर्जी का डिफरेंस, कन्वेंशनल एंड नॉन कन्वेंशनल का डिफरेंस, primary sources and final source of energy ka difference. I'll discuss with you all. Okay, so only these differences you have to learn. But another thing I'll also tell you, okay, what are the important things which you need to learn from this chapter. First is these differences. Fine, no need to go with the data. So commercial energy includes coal, petroleum, natural gas and electricity. Non-commercial includes firewood, cow dung, agriculture waste. Okay, so this commercial energy largely industrial and it is used for the commercial purposes. It is used for the commercial purposes and this is used for the domestic purposes. Sources of energy that are available to the users at some price are referred to as commercial energy, and they are available freely to the users and known as non-commercial energy. Okay? Then we have कन्वेंशनल एंड नॉन कन्वेंशनल सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी. ये तो बचपन से आप लोग साइंस में पढ़ते आ रहे हो. ठीक है, कन्वेंशनल, नॉन कन्वेंशनल, कमर्शियल, नॉन कमर्शियल. ओके, सो कन्वेंशनल एंड नॉन कन्वेंशनल क्या होते हैं. देखो, कन्वेंशनल सोर्सेज में कोल आता है. ठीक है, कन्वेंशनल में कोल आ गया, पेट्रोलियम आ जाता है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आ जाती है, वुड आ जाती है. ठीक है, Whereas non-conventional में आ जाते हैं आपके पास सोलर एनर्जी, न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी. ठीक है, that means conventional source of energy used as diverse source of commercial energy over a period of time. ठीक है, But most of these non-conventional sources of energy are used only in the experimentation stage and are being used as a diverse source of commercial energy only to the little extent. Then after this, you have primary sources and final sources of energy. देखो, primary sources and final sources. Primary sources of energy that are available as a free gift of nature. Example, coal, petroleum, gas. These are not available as a free gift of nature, used as a production of inputs. These sources are to pass through a process of transformation before they are used as energy inputs. These can be converted into other forms of energy like coal that can be converted into electricity. These sources are used only as the final source of energy inputs. These cannot be converted into other forms of energy. ठीक है, यहां तक तो आपको सिर्फ डिफरेंस याद करने हैं. ठीक है, ओके. इसके बाद आपकी बुक में गिवन होगा पैटर्न ऑफ एनर्जी कंजम्पशन इन इंडिया एंड सेक्टोरल शेयर ऑफ एनर्जी कंजम्पशन इन इंडिया. नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट, ओके, बट हाँ जो बॉक्सेस में गिवन है वो पढ़ लेना. But this is not important. Pattern of energy consumption in India and sectoral share of energy consumption in India. Then another important topic that is, this is the energy use in India. Let me read it for you. What is the current share of global energy consumption? 3.5%. Share to increase to about 10% by 2031. Per capita energy consumption, 1/3 of the world average. Consumption growth to meet the development targets, providing energy to the rural areas, efficient use of energy. So in these topics, pattern of energy consumption in India, not so important, just give it a reading. Okay. Yes, this is important. Energy challenges in power generation. Sorry, emerging challenges in power generation. Okay. See, what are the challenges in the power sector? इलेक्ट्रिसिटीज में क्या चैलेंज है? देखो सबको पता है, एक तो ना बहुत ज्यादा चोरी होती है बिजली की, है ना. लोग कई बार होता है कि डायरेक्ट कंज्यूम करते हैं, गली में जो तार लगे होते हैं उन पे डायरेक्ट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी करते हैं. ठीक है ना. फिर क्या होता है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बोर्ड जो होता है वहां से बिजली की बहुत चोरी होती है. ठीक है, लॉसेस वहां बहुत इनकर होते हैं. तो अब क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं हमारे पावर सेक्टर में जो हमारी कंट्री को इंप्रूव करनी है? नंबर 1 इज इनएडिक्वेट जनरेशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. देखो, इन स्पाइट ऑफ टोटल इंस्टॉल्ड पावर कैपेसिटी ऑफ 3,46,619 megawatt, India is still struggling to meet the surging demand for power. That means हमारी कंट्री के पास बहुत सारे इंस्टॉल्ड पावर प्लांट्स हैं, बट स्टिल इनएडिक्वेट जनरेशन होती है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की. बिकॉज क्या होता है ना, एक्सेसिव लोड ऑन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन आ जाता है, लो वोल्टेज रहती है, वोल्टेज फ्लक्चुएशन होता है, पावर कट्स होते हैं. देन लेस कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन. इन इंडिया देयर इज एन अंडर यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी ऑफ थर्मल पावर स्टेशंस. Transmission and distribution losses. Transmission and distribution losses are close to 50% of electricity production. That's why अब जो electricity है वो privatized हो रही है. ठीक है, और वो महंगी भी हो रही है. Losses in electricity boards. Production and distribution of electricity in India is the near monopoly of government. Electricity is distributed by the state electricity board. At present, all the electricity boards are running into huge loss. They do not have funds to make payments for the electricity purchased by them. There is loss of electricity in the course of transmission. There is theft of electricity. There is free supply of electricity. And when you will compare के दिल्ली के electricity charges और आपके यहाँ लोकल प्लेस के इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चार्जेस में बहुत डिफरेंस होता है. ठीक है, कई स्टेट जो है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को प्राइवेटाइज कर रहे हैं बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट जो है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का लॉस नहीं बेयर कर पा रही है. ठीक है. There is underutilization of production capacity of thermal power plants. Capacity utilization is indicated by plant load factor. Important one marker question. What is plant load? What is plant load factor? ठीक है. प्लांट लोड फैक्टर क्या है? देखो, प्लांट लोड फैक्टर इज इक्वल्स टू electricity generated plus production capacity. Electricity generated plus production capacity. This is what known as plant load factor. One marker question. ठीक है. So in next class we'll discuss coping with the challenge of power generation and health sector. Thank you. Your homework is you will learn whatever is taught in today's class. Thank you.